Assalamu alaikum sisters, welcome back to my channel. By the title of the video today, you already know what we are doing. We are cutting a modest gown with drape. A modest gown with draping. So how are you going to do it? What are the measurements you'll be needing? I will explain everything in this video. Kindly like, share, subscribe and follow for more. So I'm using 16 inches for the length of this fabric because my customer is 16 inches tall. So the first thing you're doing is to lay flat your fabrics on the floor, then you fold it into two. The two sides will be open and one side will be closed. Then you fold back again, which is 4 places. After folding back again, make sure the two sides are closed, then one side is open, and make sure the fabric is laid in 4 places. Make sure everything is smooth, the edges are equal, and no poke anywhere around the cloth. So you make sure it is smooth and laid properly. So this is me trying to show you how I fold it so there won't be any mistake when you're cutting this. So the first thing you should be doing after folding it properly is to measure out the length of your customer. I use 16 inches here because my client is 16 inches tall, so you can decide to use whatsoever length you want to use. Then I go ahead to measure the neck width. I use 4 inches here. You can use 3, you can use 4, depending on how wide you want it to be. Then I go ahead to measure my sleeve. I use 24 inches here because definitely that is the fabric length. That is why I said you're using the actual length of the fabric, which is 16 inches on all fabric. Then I went ahead to measure my neck depth. I use 1 inches here because you're working on collar, so you should use 1 inches for the neck depth. Then you cut it out before you draft out your collar. Then I measure out the location for the chest line, which is 8 inches, and then the bust point, which is 10 inches. So you can decide to use 8 inches or 10 inches. For me, I use 10 inches. So from the 10 inches length, I went ahead to measure my sleeve. So I measure my sleeve length again to ensure I'm still on the right track. So from the sleeve length, I measured another 9 inches, in which I used for my sleeve depth. You can see right there what I'm doing. So I measured the 9 inches, then I chalk it down. That is what we'll be using for the depth. We are working on a kaftan dress, so I measure out 9 inches, then I chalk it to measure I did not lose the measurement. I measure out 9 inches, then I chalk it straight line. I forgot my ruler. I've started recording before I realize I'm not with ruler, so I'm just like using freehand. Use ruler when you're doing yours. If you're not yet familiar or you're not yet good at freehand, just use ruler. So after measuring out, after outlining the neck depth, then I went ahead to measure the remaining length out of my 16 inches to be sure I'm still on the right track. You have to be very careful with length right here because kaftan can be very tricky when it comes to length. So after measuring my length, I went ahead to measure the notching of the sleeve. How normal sleeve we used to measure 2 by 2 inches for the armhole, but right here I wanted to use 3, but I decided to use 2 because it's not really necessary, just for you to shape your hand depth normally, because it's not really necessary because it's a loose dress. So I decided to just use 2 by 2. Then I chalk it out and I outline it. So after outlining, I measure my busting, which we have 19 inches right there, and we're good to go. Can decide to make it 20, that is how wide the cloth will be. So I went ahead to cut out the neck I already measured earlier. If you're still following me, I hope you're understanding this video. If you have any question, kindly comment and I'll reply to your comment as soon as I get it. So I cut out the neck, then I went to notch it because we are working on the notching. After notching, then I cut out my side shape. I decided to add 1 inches to it for the sewing allowance. You need to add it. That's why I said you should be using ruler, because if you're using ruler, you need to add the sewing allowance. But because I'm using freehand here, I just cut it out. So after cutting, you split out your gown. You split it out so you'll be able to draft out your collar. This is me trying to split it out. Just follow the video and you get it. So I split it out and lay it flat on the floor so I'll be able to draft out my collar smoothly. Measure out your collar depth. For me, I used 9 inches right here. Your collar depth, you measure it. You can use 10, you can use 8. That is how how you want the depth to be. So I measure out the 9 inches, then I go by 1 inches for the back again. So that is 9 inches for the front and 2 inches for the back. I hope you understand. Then after outlining it, I cut it out. You can see that is me trying to show you all. So 9 inches slant and 4 inches, then I think half an inch, sorry, half an inch. So I cut it out. So after cutting, I laid it back on the floor smoothly, making sure all the edges are equal. So that is how you'll be cutting a kaftan or bobo dress. So in my next video, I will be showing you how I cut the actual collar I placed on the neck depth, the V-line neck depth here. So if you enjoyed this video, kindly like and subscribe, and in our next video I'll be showing you how I draft out the actual collar. Thanks for watching. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.